The Trump White House is absolutely collapsing in on itself. Honestly, I think most of us could have predicted this disaster. When you assemble an administration based entirely on cable news personalities, a Fox News cabinet for a Fox News president backed by a Fox News Congress, you get exactly what you paid for, Fox News outcomes. It is a whole lot of performance, art, and theater, but there is zero actual governance happening. There is no aptitude. There is no ability. The only glue holding this chaotic mess together is a blind love for Donald Trump, a demand for total loyalty. But the second the MAGA base starts turning on him, and that loyalty evaporates, the whole thing comes undone. That is exactly what we are watching happen in real time with a massive bombshell resignation that is effectively shutting down the Trump White House. We are going to break down all the details, but first, if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, it really helps us fight against the algorithm and support independent media. Now, before we get to this specific bombshell, and at the end of this video, I have a clip from my interview with Governor Gavin Newsom that explains exactly why this White House is crumbling. I want to set the stage. We need to look at what is happening in Congress and across the MAGA movement that is causing Trump to panic as his empire fractures. Lawrence O'Donnell explained the situation perfectly right here.
They have no chance of winning the House of Representatives next year. That's what Republicans believe, and they blame two people, Donald Trump and Mike Johnson. Quote, a few other GOP members messaged us over the weekend saying that they too are considering retiring in the middle of the term. Here's one particularly exercised senior House Republican, quote, this entire White House team has treated all members like garbage, all. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Not even the high profile, the regular rank and file, random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel, and they will lose the majority before this term is out. That's not a reporter summarizing what the reporter has found. That is a senior House Republican putting it in writing, in a text, saying members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel. In other words, the senior House Republican who wrote that is a rational politician who can see that insane policies that hurt voters will hurt the party supporting those policies. You do bad things in government and...
Well, for the longest time, there was this prevailing theory within the Republican Party that Donald Trump was the magic key to electoral success. The idea was that if you just clung to Trump, if you were wholly and completely loyal to him, you could survive any primary challenge and you would have the full backing of the MAGA machine in the general election. If you were in a Trump district, you were safe. That is simply not the case anymore. Republicans are waking up to the reality that voters are turning on Trump's policies and they are turning on Trump himself. So not only are general elections no longer a sure thing, even in what used to be safe districts, but the math has changed. We just watched a district in Tennessee that Trump won by 22 points almost get flipped by a Democrat, coming down to single digits, when that promise of safety is gone and Trump's authority can no longer scare you into submission or guarantee you a seat. The dynamic shifts. Republicans are going to turn on him. They are going to resign. They are going to quit. They are going to walk away rather than pledging undying loyalty to the dear leader like they used to. However, some still will pledge that loyalty. Take Alina Habba, who is making a special announcement recently, but it is crucial to understand the difference here.
Pam Bondi called it like it is. The Attorney General said it today. We will not fall to rogue judges. We will not fall to people trying to be political when they should just be doing their job, respecting the president. And you can't get rid of the president. Almost 100 million people voted for him, and he is still and will be forever the 45th and 47th president.
So first of all, that was one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. We aren't going to honor the Constitution, and the claim that nearly 100 million people voted for him. These people clearly aren't great at counting because the math doesn't add up. But I want to highlight the distinction between someone like Alina Habba and what is happening with the rest of MAGA, because it is vital. Habba is the prime example of someone who does pledge that undying loyalty to Donald Trump. But in doing so, she actually screws him over because she is horrible at her job and, quite frankly, a complete idiot. On the other hand, you have the MAGA Republicans who are maybe slightly more competent, and I don't want to give them too much credit, but they are resigning and quitting. They are leaving because they refuse to pledge that loyalty to a sinking ship. So Trump is left with two options: resignations from Republicans who are fed up, or resignations from Republicans who are too stupid to function. And that is exactly what Alina Habba is doing right now. Report from Maida's touch breaking. Alina Habba is finally stepping down from her role as U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey after the Third Circuit affirmed her disqualification. So, Donald Trump is stuck with two types of Republicans in his orbit right now. One group consists of the career politicians who maybe know what they are doing, who perhaps have some semblance of care for policy, even though in this environment with modern Republicans that barely exists. These people are just fed up with Trump. They don't want to play this game anymore. They don't want to be in Congress voting on fake healthcare bills that will never pass just for show. They are tired of him generally, and they know they are going to lose their majority come the midterms. So they are ready to just slink away and quit. On the other hand, you have the people with undying loyalty to Trump, the Kash Patels, the Pete Hegseths, the Pam Bondis. These people act as direct extensions of him. But here's the problem. To find a person who is happy to be nothing more than an extension of Donald Trump, you have to find some of the most incompetent morons in America. These people do just as much damage to Trump as the ones who are walking away. In fact, Pam Bondi's undying loyalty has landed Trump in this current version of an Epstein cover-up scandal, bringing more negative attention to him than anything else ever could. That is who is left in Trump's administration right now. You have people with a tiny bit of political sense who are fleeing en masse, and you have the loyalists whose careers are blowing up in their faces. That is all you get. MAGA is fracturing. Donald Trump, in his elder age and with his cognitive inability, cannot hold it together. It is also because he is just so damn politically unpopular. This stench of failure is going to stick to all of MAGA. They bought in, and now there's no way to get out of it, and this is exactly why J.D. Vance, with the oh-so-desperate hopes for his own political future, is looking a lot worse for wear. I talked to Governor Newsom about exactly that, and he had a lot to say in this interview. Check this out.
Do you think he's going to be able to? Is he the guy to hold this together? I think
there is no Trumpism without Trump. It's a cult of personality. Rubio can't keep it together. Vance can't keep it together. Period. It's not an ideology. I mean, so no, it's about Trump. It's a great grift. That's all this is about. It's the great grift. I mean, the level of corruption, the crony capitalism, the state capitalism, that's what this is about. They can't operate at that level like Trump. They'll attempt to, perhaps, but they cannot keep this coalition together. And you've seen it fraying everywhere on the Fuentes side of things, the Tucker side of things, where Shapiro's now emerging, how they're losing a lot of the podcasters. I mean, this thing is, you're seeing it corrode everywhere, and there's no capacity for any of these other people to hold that together, in my mind and estimation.
What issue do you think is going to be the most damaging for him a couple of years from now? Do you think it's going to be Epstein cover-up? Do you think it's going to be just a complete disregard for affordability? Do you think it's going to be being part of this criminal cabal? What do you think is going to be most damaging? What's going to be holding him down? Yes.
Yeah, no, I think it's
more.
Sum total of all of it. It's just the rank corruption, the corrosion of norms and institutions, the attack on independent thinking. I think everything that has one thing in common is the assault on institutions of independent thinking, the absolute assault on the integrity of institutions that have helped, bear witness to the greatest middle class in the world, and one of the most extraordinary experiments in democracy that mankind has ever known. And so, no, I think it's all of the above, and it's it's the sum total. He has a remarkable capacity of digging out and create the next controversy. I mean, the idea that we're not talking more about President Hernandez and the pardon of one of the great drug dealers and drug runners, and that impacted more lives in more ways on more days in the United States of America. At the same time, we're saying it's all about fentanyl, or at least about cocaine interdiction in terms of these assaults on the rule of law and on the lives of these folks that are out there with no due process running drugs, allegedly. It's absurd, the whole thing. But you don't even have an hour to stand witness to one conversation debate because he immediately moves the needle to the next. And so what my effort in terms of what I'm trying to do is put a mirror up to that and try to continue to come back on all these things. That's why the Patriot site. That's why that Patriot site's not just about knee pads, about many other things. It's about the grift. It's about the corruption. I thought about a meme coin, but actually I was worried that people would actually be fleeced. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't honestly figure out how to do it.
I did hear you say that. I was like, we might have hit the point. We might have hit the
I was
roof
like,
gap.
Jesus, no, the people actually would be damaged by it. But it's, and I've Newsom 2026 hats for my reelect that I can't run for. I should have. Or Newsom was right about everything.
No, I'm fucking with you. I didn't get merch.
The point, yeah, so I'm doing the merch shop. But the whole idea that he's got a merch shop, the idea that he's selling perfume.
At the White
what
House.
does it smell like? It smells like success. I mean, it's just, he's a man-child. He called, I'm going to see Governor Walz tonight. He called him the R word. He called someone piggy. This is not normal. It can't be allowed to be normalized. And so we have to put that mirror up. We have to be more aggressive. We have to be more clear. And yeah, we have to be at times willing to offend, dare I say. And I think politics has changed. We have to change, period. The traditional political engagement, it's over. Wake up, everybody. The rules have changed. We need to change.
Well, that's why you have certainly been uber active on social media, but I think sometimes we see the Gavin Newsom press office and their thoughts on certain individuals.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy. It's not always all the time.
I have a kill switch, though. Sometimes I'm too busy to see something that did go out, and I'm like, oh.
Ooh, did we?
Do you have bail money for me?
Well, hopefully these are okay, but I want to get your thoughts on some of these people that you've been posting about. You did a happy birthday for Voldemort, Stephen Miller.
Are
you aware of his, you asked if Marjorie Taylor Greene would come on, are you aware of his wife's podcast? Katie Miller's got a podcast?
I'm aware. I've seen a few appearances on the cable networks of
what are your thoughts on, you got thoughts on Stephen, what are your thoughts on Katie Miller's performance so far?
I'm going to withhold that and focus my...
I was really glad to get some time with Governor Newsom. That interview was much more expansive than just that clip, so I'm going to link the full thing right here and in the comments down below. We had a great conversation. I also want to mention, I know I have been away for just a little bit. I posted on Friday, but since then I have some news on why. I was with Governor Newsom on Friday, which took up the day, but then I left the next morning to go to Phoenix to do about 8 back-to-back interviews with Democratic governors. I am very excited to share those with you all, but to everyone who reached out asking, Jack, are you okay? Did Stephen Miller or Kash Patel or someone in the Trump administration kidnap you because you haven't been posting? I always appreciate when you all reach out. And I hope you know that I am committed to staying on top of the news all the time. It really means a lot when you guys notice I haven't posted 8 times in a day and check in to see if everything is all right. But please, it would mean the world to me if you watched that full interview with Governor Newsom and I. The YouTube algorithm has been a little shaky lately in pushing out pro-democracy content, so that link is below and on screen. More interviews to come. I am excited to share them. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. Until next time.